Yeah, it's a little weird because we already recorded the episode.
Yeah, we did. We're coming back and redoing some stuff. Kind of.
Yeah. So just to set the stage a little bit.
Yeah.
We interviewed my mom. No, we put out the all call last episode for anyone that was possibly a sex worker or something like that. And our friend Naomi.
Yeah, you never know. We're going to hear back from people, so that's awesome.
She came right out. She said, I'm a professional sex worker.
She pulled through.
And she's cool and she's fun.
Yeah, we had a great time.
And she's got a great personality, but she has a lot of tales and stories to tell you guys. If you think her voice sounds weird, well,
yeah, we changed it a little bit.
We shifted it forward and did some moving around so she could keep some of her anonymity. I think that's good though. She was awesome and it was a great interview. We had a great time.
Yeah, it was a really good time.
And I think that Rob and I are not cut out for sex work.
No.
The most powerful thing she told us though is it doesn't matter. Well, it does a little bit, but if you got a powerful trunk, if you got a powerful pelvis,
yeah,
that's more important than having a big dick. Just think that fucking thrusters. You got good fucking thrusters on you. Got some fucking strong ass thrusters on me. You got good thrusters on you, Rob?
I think so.
Let's call Bev.
I'm pretty powerful.
I'm a powerful thruster.
Yeah.
All right. We'll keep recording, but let's thrust each other.
Okay.
And then whoever gives up first has the less powerful thrusters.
Okay.
And just keep in mind what I've been doing to this chair over here. So when I stand up, it's going to smell like a science experiment in here.
It's been rough. It's been a rough day.
It smells like a turtle aquarium.
Yeah.
We're just trying to soldier through.
Mm-hmm.
But this is going to be the Dark Vault episode. We're going to call it Lady of the Night.
Oh.
Everyone's going to be like, oh, it's about a fucking ghost.
Nope.
It's about a young lady who works in the sex industry.
She may or may not have a haunted dildo. We talked about it a little bit at the end.
She does. She has a cat. She has a cat.
Her pussy's haunted.
So is mine. But yeah, thanks for listening, guys, and it means a lot. We're having a very wonderful month of December, and it's thanks to all of you guys, everyone that listens.
It's been great.
Everyone that gives us their time and their ear. We're tremendously appreciative. I think sky's the limit around here, man. We're coming up on year 6.
Mm-hmm.
Still doing it. Let's push it to a decade.
I'm ready, man. I ain't giving up anytime soon.
No, neither am I. Not until the last person turns us off.
Yeah.
One day we will have our last episode.
Isn't that sad to think about?
I was just trying to think about that today, what it would be like, or what would be the pretense of us saying, all right, this is like, it's done, dude. It's run its course. And I still feel like we're right in the middle of it.
Yeah, I do too, man. I
still feel like there's more out there. There's still some meat on that fucking bone.
Yeah. I feel like once it gets to the point to where it's just like, fuck, man, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Like,
or we start selling our fucking bodies on like making videos and shit.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
There's a market for it.
There is, as
Naomi, a price for everything. Yeah.
As Naomi tells us. So.
Good segue.
Well, we're going to take a quick break from some of our sponsors and then stick around for one of our most favorite interviews ever.
It's great.
With Naomi. All right. Just say, hello, this is Naomi.
Hello, this is Naomi.
Okay. I was just making sure that we had good levels on you, and we're good. All right. Then we're going to start recording. We're here with the star of the show, Naomi. Naomi, thank you so much for coming on the show. How are you?
Thank you for having me. It's so exciting to meet you both.
Oh, I love it that you're using a nice, clear, loud voice, because that makes things so much easier for us and takes out so much of the
I can imagine.
guesswork afterwards. Now, just to set this up a little bit, Naomi, we said, hey, we're looking for someone that works in the industry of pleasure.
The sex industry.
The sex industry. And she wrote us, she said, if you want to talk to somebody that's a real fucking professional about this shit, not some, not someone that's going to get fucking murdered in a ditch or some shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
A professional fucking badass, then I'm your lady. And how could we possibly pass that up? What's like in terms of like when someone's talking to you or talking about your occupation? Are you a lady of the night? Are you an escort? I know there's like some derogatory terms, but what do you prefer for your trade to be or your occupation to be called?
I would say either an escort or a sex worker.
Okay.
Prostitute is the one that's a little bit like,
Yuck.
don't like that.
Yeah, it's not like
I get that. Yeah.
I mean, here it is.
Yeah.
It's late where she's at, and she's not out on the street. She's here in her living room holding her fucking cat with us. So if that tells you a little bit about what Naomi has going on, I think we're gonna have a lot of questions for you because we're fucking we're pigs and we're idiots.
It's gonna be fun just because this is one of those things where like we just like learned in the last episode that we just to say, not expecting anybody to really message us back with to have that experience. So it's kind of cool that you dangle the bait, and this is the one we get.
we had one girl. She's like, "Yeah, I sell my fucking panties," and we talked to her.
Hell yeah.
I think that was a Patreon episode. That was pretty wild. And Naomi, I have the absolute worst gas I've had in a long time.
It's bad.
If you see Rob,
if you see me retching, it's that's what it is.
We're gonna get through it. He's gonna soldier through.
Yeah.
Well, you're part of the world. I'm not gonna say specifically where you're from, but you got a bit of an accent. You're definitely not from Kentucky like some of our other friends.
No.
Is what you do considered legal? And if it is, kind of explain to us the complexities of what you do.
So I would class myself as an indoor sex worker. So somebody that's just working from inside a premises or who is visiting clients' premises and not working on the street.
Okay.
So that's something to sort of clarify straight ahead. But yeah, just sort of I advertise on a site called Adult Work, which is legal. And it is all legal in the UK. And just clients get in touch and we have an advert and it goes from there really. But I work inside, I work from my house. Sometimes I get hotels and visit other cities. Sometimes I visit hotels to see clients or visit their houses, but mostly I would say I'm an indoor sex worker, yeah.
Fucking bougie.
So is the fact that you're an indoor worker what makes it legal as opposed to being like actual streets?
No, not necessarily. So it tends to be illegal on the street because there tends to be drugs involved, like hard drugs. And there also tends to be pimps, so it's other elements that make it illegal.
Gotcha.
Whereas what I do, it's legal because I don't have another girl working in the same premises with me. In the UK, if you have another girl, so say if I was to have my friend and she was to work from a different room, that would be seen as illegal and it would be seen as a brothel. But if you work on your own, then it's legal. And also you're allowed to advertise. What you're not allowed to do is go into a bar, for example, and find somebody and then say, hey, I'm selling services.
Okay.
You know, because that would be, I can't remember what they call it, but yeah, that would be illegal. So there's some complexities around it, but what I do is legal. I work on my own and, through an advert.
So you're a independent contractor.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's fancy. Now, excuse me. Are you booked out, or is this like a thing where you wake up in the morning and you check out your notifications and you say, all right, I'm gonna have 3 appointments today or 2 appointments, or are you kind of schedule out weeks in advance?
So things actually changed after COVID. So pre-COVID, there was a lot more pre-bookings. There was a lot more people booking you in advance. Longer bookings, you would be booked up for weeks in advance.
Yeah.
But since COVID, and I'm not sure why, but it's changed, and now it seems to be very much sort of on the day. Someone's wanting to meet somebody on the day, or wanting to meet you on the day, there and then, sort of thing.
Okay.
Same day work. So it has changed, and there are these like fluctuations in sort of trends and how it happens. And do you see what I'm saying? Like, yeah. It changes.
What's your shortest, like if someone was looking to have you visit them, what's the What's the shortest amount of time they can book you?
So currently that's half an hour.
Half an hour.
Yeah.
It's way longer than I need. I think my wife would pay for half an hour at this point.
It's just an awkward 25 minutes of sitting there.
Yeah. I went through a phase of offering 15 minutes, but that wasn't really for me. So half an hour is the minimum.
Well, is the, I guess kind of piggybacking off what we just asked, is normally a half an hour? Is that normally too long?
So you get the guys that make every second count and make every minute count and want to get every minute's worth.
Sure.
And then you get the guys that don't really need half an hour, just need 5 minutes. But because you don't offer 5 minutes, they'll take half an hour, but they leave early and they're done and sort of, that's it. So you get both.
So is there a hard line on the amount of time? Like, do you have a timer set on your phone and when it goes off, you're just like, your shit closes up and you stand up and you like walk away and put your clothes back on? Or?
That's a good question.
So I actually have a couple of ways. I have a Fitbit and I can set voice timers on this, and it just vibrates. So I just go, when I know they're outside, I go, Alexa, set a timer for, say if it's a half-hour booking, 25 minutes. And then it will sort of vibrate on my wrist and I'll know that we've got 5 minutes left. Okay. And then my other way is that I have like a YouTube mix and it's an hour and 10 minutes long. And I've heard it so many times now that I know exactly what the hour point is, what the half hour point is.
That's great.
So I can tell where we are in the booking by the song that's playing.
That's so good.
That's awesome.
Alexa is really helpful. She, no matter what you're doing, whether you're trying to bake some fucking cookies or just trying to help some guy or young lady, Alexa is there for you. We don't use Alexa in this house. We use Google, and he's a son of a bitch, but he knows his shit, so I don't argue with him. He's helping my kids fail school because they don't do their homework. They just ask him the fucking answers, and then they write the answers down. So they're all flunking and they're idiots, except for one's a Rhodes Scholar. She's a rocket scientist, but I have so many questions, and if at any point you need to cut me off or any point here, Rob, it's
okay. So. If in the case that someone does book a 30-hour slot,
a 30-hour,
I mean 30 minutes, 30 minute. My bad. I'm thinking forward to my question. So if they book a 30-minute spot, and if that time comes, is it one of those things where as long as you don't have that, they can bump it up to an hour if you're not booked up, obviously, or is it like 30 minutes, you're fucked, you better do your thing and get on out?
Without you answering that, I'm a wedding DJ.
Yeah.
And when it comes time to go, I'm like, it's time to go, but for $120 more, you can keep me here for another hour. And I'm probably guessing she's the same way. That's my official guess.
Yeah, you would be right.
That's what I figured. As long as it wasn't like interfering with other bookings, then.
No, there's a lot of social finessing. There's a lot of sort of using your body language to hint when it's over, or there are certain levels, and if somebody is socially aware, then hopefully they pick up on these hints soon, and if not, you can escalate to more obvious hints until if they don't get it at all, then it is just the booking's over now and it's time for you to leave.
At that point, once the booking time is over, if they want to continue, is that something that you can be like, okay, you know what? It was, $100 for the 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. I'll give you $150 for the next 30. Like, can you bump up your? I mean, I'm sure you can bump up your money, like if you wanted to, or is that something that's kind of scumbaggy?
I'm very stubborn with my money. I never lower it.
Right, but I mean, is that something you would stay on par with what the original price was, or would you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'd probably have to refer to my price. I'd probably have to have a look, because sometimes I struggle to remember, and I'd have to go, right, if he's had half an hour and he's wanting another hour, then I'll charge him with the hour price.
Gotcha.
Which won't be exactly the same as double the half hour, because it's the way that it's sort of set. I benefit more from the half hours.
Yeah.
I get that.
So, for example, the half hour is 100 and the hour is 160. Okay. So, you see what I mean? So the half hour is more profitable.
Yeah. Okay. That works.
What percentage of your clients are repeat customers that you've seen, more than once or twice?
I would say probably 50%, actually. Huh. You get quite an even mix of guys that you see once and never see again, and it's just just no more contact.
Yeah.
And then you get the ones that see you once a month. You get the ones that see you once a week, but they're quite rare. I'd say my most common is like a once a month client that lasts for about 6 months. And then after that, they tend to lose interest, or they'll go elsewhere, or something will change in their circumstances. And, I've had a couple of clients that have been 2 or 3 year clients, but typically it's more short term.
Have you ever went back to a client for free? Like someone that you spent time with and you're like, God damn, that motherfucker, he was about his shit. And then you went back for maybe for free, I guess.
No, I came close to it. I did come close to it. He was just, yeah.
No, tell us about him. We need the fucking details. Tell us about him. This is good.
No, he was just, he had a really big cock, so there was that. And he didn't fuck for too long, so that it was like short and sweet, but like, I don't know, I liked it.
Yeah.
And he was just sexy. There was just something about him, we clicked. And I actually offered him, I offered him, I said, listen, I think you're really fit and I'd love to be able to see you on a sort of casual, semi-regular basis. Sure. On a casual, friendly, not paying level. And he'd basically been nagging me for that the whole time. And as soon as I offered it him, he got freaked out and thought I was asking for a relationship. and was like, I'd see you once. And I'm thinking, once isn't really enough for me to, like, I want like something ongoing with somebody that I find sexy. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
I don't just want to give him it for free once for him to go, I'm not interested now, you see?
Yeah.
So there's a pride thing. So I obviously blocked him.
Okay. It's that easy, man. Just block them.
Gone.
Now, I asked about the shortest amount of time. Can people book you for the weekend or for the week, or have you ever experienced anything like that?
The longest I've done is overnight.
Okay, well
and those tend to be
too much.
From like 6 p.m. till about 9 the next morning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that too much?
So for me, currently I go through phases. When I first started, I enjoyed the longer bookings, but I think now I prefer a shorter booking. I don't know. I feel like the longer bookings are quite draining.
Yeah. I know nothing about any of this. Like my thing in life, I've made a lot of friends over the years, and it's because I give good sound advice.
Mm-hmm.
But Naomi, I can't help you.
So
I can't give you good advice.
Yeah, there's so many questions we could ask. So like, going off of what you said about the one guy that you almost let slide for free. So on the complete opposite end of that, so like, how do you prepare, and what do you do like differently if you have to do stuff with someone who you're literally complete, like, you're not attracted to whatsoever?
I would imagine that's mostly all of them.
That's what I would think personally. Like, so explain your headspace, where you're at in that moment. Like what do you do to like make it more comfortable for you?
So something I've always said is that I can find, I'm very personality based. I can find something attractive about somebody's personality. So if they are hideous on the outside, but they've got like, they're funny or there's something, it doesn't affect me. I can focus on that, and I can find that attractive and work with that. However, sometimes you obviously do meet the people that are ugly on the outside and the inside.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when it's hard. That's when it's like, oh, I don't know, like, yeah.
It's a fucking job.
That's when it's really a job. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It is hard. It can be when you get one that you just don't like anything about and you don't click. Those are the hardest because you don't want them to be there, but they've paid. So you're sort of obliged. And yeah, sometimes it can be a bit tricky, but mostly it just involves just trying to stay like professional again.
Sure.
How many times have you had to like for I guess someone that attempted to be a repeat customer, you were just like, no, this is not happening a second time. Has that happened often or?
Yes.
Okay.
Usually if there's a hygiene issue.
Oh yeah. That's what I would be worried about mostly. Just someone coming there smelling like straight rhinoceros ass.
Onions. Oh yeah, it fucking sucks. So that's one of your biggest no-nos is hygienes. Do you have anything else that's like a hard cutoff for you?
I hate boundary pushers. I hate people that try to push you to do something you don't want to do. If I've said no, that's sort of the end of it. And if it gets pushed again, then I start to get mad. So I don't like somebody that's pushing boundaries and I won't see them again. I actually have like a star rating system in my phone. So what I'll do is after I've seen a client, I'll give him a 1 to 3 stars.
Fuck yeah, it's like an Uber. I love it. So we call it Boober.
3 stars is oh my God, yes, see him again, amazing. Either easy or enjoyable or leaves early. And then you've got 2 stars, which is your sort of run-of-the-mill client, like nice, decent, not amazing, probably stays the whole time, whatever. And then your 1 star is only see if it's absolutely dead.
Yeah.
And you're like, you just need a bit of work. Yeah.
I can, I guess going into, has there ever been a situation where the client arrives or you go to the client and you shut it down? You don't even enter into whatever you intended to do. You kind of shut it down before it even starts happening.
Let me think.
Because some fuckers smell really bad, Naomi. Like some guy, there's a guy I work with, he smells like fucking ass and old potatoes. And I knew I could smell him around the fucking corner. So I know there's been some guys that showed up and you're like, God damn. I know cat's piss in UK too. So I know some guys can smell like cat piss or whatever.
I don't think I've ever turned anybody down at the door, actually.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever done that. I think if they smell really bad, I will literally just grab them and smell them and go, you smell, you need to shower. I want to tell them, like, I don't care. Yeah, because it gets to the point where you're just like, just have some respect. Like I'm clean, just turn up clean. That's the least, I can sort of expect from you. So if they're not and they smell, I will just lift up their armpit and smell their armpit and say,
I love there's no shame. It's so fucking straightforward.
If they smell it's after, I'll do it. I'll say again, I'm sorry, you need to take another dip.
Take a dip, I love it. Wash your ass.
And I've got like a whole system in my shower where I've got like the shower wash and then I say, there's antiperspirant up there as well for after. And there's mouthwash. They use some mouthwash and antiperspirant.
Dude, imagine paying for half an hour and you get up in 27 minutes, your half an hour is you trying to clean your fucking nasty ass. Oh, that's good. Well, I guess let's kind of go back to the, I assume you haven't done this your whole life because that'd be fucking awful. So how did you dip your toe into this industry? Was there a friend that helped you along, or you just say one day like it's time to get that fucking money? How'd you start?
So I was actually at university, and I was doing social work.
Interesting.
And I really, really didn't like it, and I was really, really miserable. And I'd known a girl from my past that had done it. And it's one of those things that sort of, if it's been introduced to you, it will cross your mind maybe once a year or something, and you'll be like, could I? I don't know. I'm scared, or I'm this, or what if I feel differently about myself after, or what if I don't enjoy it, or whatever. And you'll have these worries. But then eventually you'll find yourself in a time and place and situation where it's time to try it, and you'll never know unless you try it. And so that's sort of what happened. I was at uni and I wasn't happy, and I was planning on quitting, and I needed some money. I was bored. I was curious, and I thought, fuck it, let's give this a go, eh?
Might as well. Why not?
Yeah. So I did, and I didn't look back, and I was just planning on having a whole summer, but I loved it, and I just decided to do it for a few years. So
do you like what you do?
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm getting to the point now where I'm a little bit, I think I need like a month off.
Sure. I get that.
But I still enjoy it. Yeah. I think I need a bit of time off, and a bit of me time.
Absolutely. You deserve it. Are you working every day, or
No.
Okay. So just a few times a week?
Yeah. So it depends on how I'm feeling. It really is the sort of job that you have to sort of take the work as it comes. You can try and control it a little bit, and say that you'll be available certain hours or whatever. But if it's busy in the morning and you're available in the evening, sometimes you have to just take the work in the morning if it's there,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I don't know.
Have you had any a guy he books you now? Do they have your phone number, or is this strictly done through the website stuff?
Yeah, so I put my number up on the website, so it's on my ad.
Okay, now have you had like crazy wives or girlfriends like, hey, who the fuck are you? And like, what the fuck is this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a couple of times. Yeah.
I could tell by the reaction that was a yes.
Did it make you feel bad, or were you just like, fuck it, bitch? You better fix your shit.
It's happened. I mean, it's happened to my friend. My best friend does this as well. And it's happened to her a lot more. She's had wives turn up to her house.
Holy shit.
Fuck that, man.
Banging on her door, going, and you've been sleeping with my husband.
Yeah, and she's like, yeah, he's paying good for it too, bitch.
But I've had one call me. I've had a wife call me, and she just asked me to sort of tell her the truth, and I just, I don't know. I hung up.
Did you live by the prison code, or did you tell her what the fuck was going on?
No, I didn't tell her. I felt it felt wrong. My confidentiality is with my client, not, so
sure.
I couldn't do that in that moment. It wasn't my place.
So professional.
I know.
Now, are you a muggle or are you a wizard?
Definitely a wizard.
I wasn't sure. I needed to get that question out of the way.
Is there any first-time clients, is there any sort of like a vetting that you have to do beforehand that before you take on a client, or is it
are you a fucking cop?
What all does that entail?
So half of it's just instinct.
Okay.
Yeah. And then there are some tools, there are some resources. Says that there's something called Client Eye, which is an app, and you put their number into the app and it comes up if they have any reports.
Okay.
So girls can leave reports on numbers. So, for example, if they've had time wasters, no-shows, if they've had abusive, if they've anything like that, they can leave specific reports saying what they've experienced. And I can access that on an app. And so you've got that, which is a huge help, because you can see, sometimes they've got 25, 30. I've seen one with like 120 reports.
Jesus.
Wow.
Not me. Yeah. That was not me.
So there's that. You can vet them through that. But then the rest of it really is, have they given you a working phone number that they've replied, that is theirs, and that they've spoke to you on it? Do they sound all right? How do they speak? What are they asking for? Just sort of how they come across, and that's it really. That's all you can really do. Some girls ask for deposits. I find it scares some clients off, but I need to get into the habit really of asking for deposits.
Sure.
Yeah. This is going to be a sad question, but
I bet I already know what it is. I bet it's something I was going to ask too.
You ever have guys that just pay you to sit there and talk to them?
Yep.
That don't really want anything. Kind of, they just looking for a female to talk to them.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. You get it doesn't tend to be just talking. Like you'll be naked and they'll be touching, but sometimes it's not more than that. So sometimes there's not any. It's just sort of body contact and just hands, and kissing. But I've had one that didn't want to do anything and literally just wanted to lie there fully clothed and talk to me. I find that a little bit strange.
You didn't give him a 3-star in your little fucking rating thing?
He got a 2-star, a little bit weird, and a little bit weird after his name.
Yeah,
that's easy money, baby.
I've heard a lot of stories, like similar stories like that, where sex workers or dancers, or that's like their thing. Like they'll just get paid for for them to have someone of the opposite sex to talk to, and just for like the moment of companionship that they experience.
I'll go lay with a dude and talk to him and
right.
fucking put my big old fucking taters on his back. I'll do it. I don't care. Now, let's start to get into the nitty gritty here a little bit. Before we started recording, we said something about shitting ourselves or something. You're like, I actually got a funny story about that. And we stopped you, and I was like, no,
let's save this.
Yeah, let's see. Can you recall what you're about to tell us?
I feel shy now, but basically, I thought you'd appreciate knowing that I emailed you on the toilet.
Taking a big old stinker.
Basically, so.
Yeah. Give me 1 second here. I got a phone call coming in. I got to take just 1 second.
Go for it.
Okay, I'm going to stop there for a second. But yeah, we're going to the nitty gritty now. Now I can imagine you've been doing this for about 5 years, right?
Yeah.
I know there's probably been some scary situations you've gone through. Am I right?
Yeah, there's been a couple, but not as many as you'd probably think.
Really?
Yeah.
I would expect to have the shit beat out of me every single night if I was, but no, she said it's not that bad. It's
kind of ties.
Oh my God, would I do it if I was getting beat up every night? Of course not.
I mean, if I was making like $100,000 a month doing this podcast, but it was just like Rob kicking me in the balls for an hour, yeah, I'd still fucking do it because
right, yeah,
$100,000's $100,000. You know what I'm saying?
Money talks.
I guess take us through maybe your scariest situations or your scariest situation, if there's anything that pops to mind.
So there's two. One was at the very start when I first started, and the second one was recently. So the first one, I was in Brighton, which is a different city in the UK, and I was in a hotel. And basically the guy, he'd seen me for half hour in the morning, and then he came back after 2 hours, saw me for another half hour, and then he'd come back in the afternoon. And every time he came back, he got progressively more drunk.
It didn't look like Rob did it.
And basically, I don't offer any sort of, there's no unprotected sex at all.
Yeah.
And so he kept trying to basically do unprotected.
Yeah.
And he just sort of, there was like a moment where I told him to get off me and get out. And there was just a moment where it could have gone really wrong. Like he was thinking about how he wanted to react in that situation. And thankfully he made the right decision and he left. So it wasn't even that bad really. It was just a little bit iffy.
No, you say like it wasn't that bad, but that like you said, it could have went either direction. I mean, you could have been someone that we were talking about on this show, or it went the direction that it did go. So thankfully that that guy wasn't drinking too much.
Yeah, that kind of ties into some
thoughts.
Yeah, that ties into something else I was going to ask, and something you talked about a little bit earlier. So for you, what are the kind of things that are on your no list?
So I don't I can be just explicit.
Yeah.
You can say butthole.
Yeah, you say whatever it is.
So I don't do cum in mouth.
Okay.
I don't do anal.
Okay. Yeah, it's called cum in America too, so you can say that word. I don't do cum in the mouth. I don't do
unprotected. I don't do facials. I don't do car meets. I don't do drugs.
You guys like when you show up? Do they try? Well, when you say pot, I don't think
they might try to do a line off your tits or anything.
Oh, it's so funny you say that.
Yes.
Literally about 3 weeks ago, I had this weird guy, and I thought he was maybe a little bit intellectually challenged. But I think he was on drugs, but I didn't realise at the time. Anyway, so we go upstairs, and we're like halfway through, and he turns to me and he sort of says it in a really garbled, like, because there's a lot of coke off your tits, like that.
Was his name Bill Wilkins?
I was like, no, you can't. And he didn't take it, and he sort of waited for a couple of minutes, and then he went, was that a no? And I was like, yes, that was a no. And then I went into the bathroom because he was doing my head in, and I thought, I need a break. And I went into the bathroom, and I came back out, and he had cocaine on his chest from where he sniffed it, and it had fell out of his nose.
He did it off his own tits.
Yeah. And I chucked him out. I was like, you're going to have to leave. I gave him half the money back, and I said, just leave.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
He said, I'm doing this fucking line off someone's tits.
The way she said it, it was all garbage. Like, I don't like it. He sounded like the guy from the skinwalker from Men in Black. He's like, I need more sugar in the water.
That's so funny.
I guess, and you're about to tell us. You were going to tell us about another recent kind of situation where you said you kind of could have went either way. What happened there?
So I went through a phase of offering 15 minutes, and it was a 15-minute client, and I didn't like him from the moment he came in the door. He just had this. He had this cocky, arrogant, boundary pusher attitude. And so I was immediately uncomfortable. And he was quite young. And anyway, we went upstairs, and so you've got 15 minutes, right? You don't book 15 minutes unless you can come in 15 minutes.
Okay.
It's a quickie. Quickie.
No problem.
If you need longer, you book longer.
Sure.
You know, there's not going to be any freebies here. So it has to be very sort of cut and dry 15 minutes. Anyway, so it got to 15 minutes. He was nowhere near finishing. He was sort of still soft, and he was taking the piss. He wanted to do me in every possible way in this 15 minutes, you know, and it were like, I just wasn't enjoying it. And I asked him to leave. I said to him, right, the booking's over now. You've had 20 minutes. You're nowhere near finishing, so I'm going to have to leave this now. And he basically just refused to leave. But it was he was stood there with his hard on in his hand, naked, going, "You're not going to finish this. Are you not going to just?" And I was saying to him, "Please get out," and he just wouldn't leave. And he went into the bathroom, and I thought he was going to go and get dressed and leave, but then he came out 10 minutes later and he was still naked. And basically I had to snatch his phone to leverage him leaving my house. I had to say, he put his phone on the side, and I snatched it, and I said, if you don't get out, I'm smashing your phone. And I had a rape alarm in one hand. I had 999 on my phone ready to call, but he just wouldn't leave, and he was mocking me the whole time, just sort of taking the piss out of me for being upset and angry. So I did finally get him out, and it didn't go worse. And I bought a baseball bat.
Well, fuck that guy. Yeah. We're American. We can mail you a gun if you want one. I got a bunch of them. Now, I asked you about your scariest situation. Let's talk about some of your weirdest encounters.
Oh yeah,
I like to put a diaper on for my wife, and she doesn't like that, but that's kind of my thing. Maybe take us through some of your weirdest encounters.
I feel like you guys are just like a little bit psychic.
It's a diaper.
Yeah,
she gets there and he was in a shitty diaper.
Hell yes.
I've worn a diaper for somebody.
Okay,
that's the weirdest thing I think I've done. Yeah.
Like, did he just want you to change him, or did it like?
No, she said she wore one.
Oh,
I wore it.
You wore one. Did you have to go to the?
I was gonna say, did you have to use it?
Yeah.
Hell yes. How weird was that?
I don't know why I did it. I don't
know. So is that okay? Then this brings up another question.
I need a fucking diaper right now, dude.
Something like that, is that inclusive in the price, or is that something you got to pay extra for?
That's extra, dog.
So I sort of make a point of not charging extras just because it tends to turn a client off. But
okay.
I do water sports, so I will piss on you for 20 quid extra.
Okay, gotcha. So does that fall in that category then?
No, I don't think I charged him extra, actually. No.
I love it's called water sports. Right, yeah.
You never pay me when I piss on you, dude. You're such a fucking cheap ass.
I pay you with my presence. just my aura.
Now, is there any other encounters or situations that maybe kind of went the weird direction that didn't involve a fucking diaper?
So I did actually make a little list right there.
Hell yeah.
She made a what?
She made a list.
Okay. Perfect.
Because I knew you'd want to know like weird things that I've done.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fun.
And so I've done like full on ball busting.
Oh, crazy. That's awesome.
Take me off that list. That was fucking hurting me.
Yeah, his balls were gnarly.
like after or before?
Forever, constantly.
Really?
All time, yeah.
So did you have to wear like high heels and shit on him, or did like?
So he would pick the shoes, and usually he wanted these like high heeled boots, but they had a really thick heel.
Oh yeah.
And he used to like me to just full on just boot him just as hard as I could.
God, no way.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
How often do you get your piggly wiggly sucked on?
Oh, quite a lot. It's the most common fetish, definitely.
Yeah, really? That's very vanilla.
Is that good for you, or you're like, yeah, whatever, I don't like it. It's kind of.
I'm ticklish. I don't like it. I'm really ticklish. I'm literally, if somebody's sucking my toes, I'm lay there going, don't kick them in the face. Don't kick them in the face. Like, contain it. And I can do it for maybe 30 seconds to a minute, and then I can't do it. It's just too ticklish.
That's so much fun. They call me tickle shits, actually, because I
you shits when you get tickled.
I get tickled, I poop my pants. That's where the diaper thing comes into play.
I see.
Yeah, it's more.
Well, I didn't actually do a number 2 in the diaper. By the way, it was just a wee.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you don't look like a shitter. So.
I've had requests though. I've had people ask me to poo on their chest.
Yeah,
oh, man,
that's a thing.
Poo in their mouth.
It's hard just to spin up a turd anytime somebody wants one. It's not like poop's not like one of those things. I can pee on myself right now and I don't have to pee.
Sure,
but like I can't shit myself right now.
Yeah,
it's a little harder to do.
Yeah, I've talked about it before on the podcast, but I had one buddy I worked with who, I don't think it was him. It may have been him, and he was just saying it wasn't him. But he had this couple friend who they went out and they had they bought a glass table for their bedroom just so he could lay under it and she could stand on it and shit. So he could like watch the act happening.
So fucking weird, man.
I know, man. It's really weird.
No, I'm gonna get a little emotional for a moment. I know what you do kind of takes a certain element of a connection. There's some intimacy there. How hard is it for you in your personal relationship when you're I don't know if you have a boyfriend or a husband or anything like that, but how hard is it for you when you're kind of going through this paces when you find somebody you're like, okay, I'm kind of into this guy. I wouldn't imagine, like, if my wife, when I met her, if she'd been like, I'm an escort, I'd be like, well, escort me out of the building. How does that work for you?
Oh, so I don't date. I'm single. I've been single for years, and it's out of choice. I don't see how I can mix what I do with a relationship, but I also just happen to be a really independent person who enjoys being single. So It's not necessarily, I mean, I'm getting to the point where I'm starting to feel like I should probably go on a couple of dates and like get out there a little bit.
Yeah, like you
because
said,
it's probably not healthy just having all of your sex from
People that are
from your job.
Yeah.
So yeah, but no, I've never tried. I've never tried to go and sit there and go on a date and say, I'm an escort. Are you all right with that? I've never done that. It's a little bit overwhelming to think about, to be honest. I don't know how I would expect someone to be all right with it.
Sure. And like in terms of like your mental health and your emotional upkeep, is that a constant fight, or are you just kind of like, for me, I don't fucking stress out about anything. My wife's like, how are you not stressed out right now? I'm just like, babe, the sun's going to come up tomorrow and we're going to be all right.
Yep.
But people are all wired differently. Is there like a certain amount of emotional, I guess, repair and maintenance that you got to stay on top of? Or you just kind of like stoic and don't have to fucking worry about that shit?
Good question.
Yeah.
I must admit, I'm a little bit neurospicy. Like I've got like a few. I'm a full bag of.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So I've got a lot. I do battle with mental health. Yeah, sure. But it's about sort of knowing yourself and knowing when you need a break and taking breaks and being able to enjoy your breaks and being able to truly rest and just being able to sort of check in with yourself and go, am I up for work today? Do I feel up for it? Am I in the mood? Am I not? And it's just about listening and respecting that. And if you need a week off, you need a week off.
Yeah.
And it's just sort of that's all I do, really. It's just about being self-aware and doing your self-care and stuff. And I've started going and getting like massages because I think I give a lot of massages and, it'd be nice to get some in return. And it's a bit of physical self-care, so there's that. But I'm on a whole mental health journey and, story. So it's ongoing. Yeah.
Well, sure. Absolutely. And I think it's wonderful that you understand that there's maybe some hard stuff to deal with, kind of going along with what you're doing. But don't let anyone ever tell you you're not wonderful, you're not special, you're not interesting, funny, and engaging. You're incredible, and we're glad you came on the show.
Thank you. That's very sweet.
And like you said, you said, I'm thinking about just taking a month off. Maybe do that. Find you some nice fucking another wizard. I don't know how hard it is to find other wizards to date, but just go out and without the stresses of the what you're going through. Are you considered a veteran of the industry, or I would imagine, like, thinking about when people dip their toes into that industry, I would say, like, probably 3 to 5 years is about how long someone does something like that, or am I wrong assuming that?
Yeah, so there are a few other girls in my area that have the same level as like feedback as me, because it's based on the number of feedbacks really that you've got. So, if you're like a hard hitter and if you're like relevant, you've probably got over 200 feedbacks. And there's not many girls that have the same number as me, and I'm sort of I'm like 340, I think.
Well, nice. On the fucking phone with a goddamn celebrity here
with royalty,
God. How many times have you worked for the royal family, like for that lizard? Is Andrew the lizard? Which one's the really fucking?
I think
awful?
They all are.
Yeah,
they all are. Yeah.
You make any house calls to Buckingham Palace there or anything like that?
Oh, I wish.
I'd suck Carrie's dick for sure. Which one of the royals do you like the most?
I really don't like any of them.
Really?
Hell yeah!
So they are lizards.
I'm not pro royal. I don't really give a fuck. Yeah, okay. I just think I don't really know why people care.
Yeah, you're like us.
Yeah, just like us. Yeah.
My wife.
I don't get it.
She really gets into it, and I say, "Well, what the fuck do they do?" I remember when all the crown stuff started. Mm-hmm. I said, "What the fuck do they do?" She said, "They're royalty. They've been around forever." Yeah. I said, "Yeah, I get that, but what the fuck do they do?" She's like, I don't know. And I said, I don't know either. So they're not really that royal, are they? It's just kind of,
didn't they have to change all your guys' money out after the queen passed away?
Oh, I don't know.
I heard they were going to be doing that in like putting the prince's face all over the bills now. I'm like, damn, that would be a bitch to do. That would suck.
I'd do it with a fucking crayon. He's a dumbass.
I literally don't know a thing about any of it. I just heard that. It may not even be true. I don't know.
I think it is, yeah. I think I've heard it, but to be honest, I'm not much the wiser.
Yeah. What's your end game? You know, I know if my job right now, one day I just want to say, all right, 65 years old, it's time to hang it up. I got a little bit of money put back, and I want to sit down and I want to just relax for the rest of my life. Do you have a goal or an end game there for you, or is
obviously she's not getting back into social work? I mean, that's
I mean, you could. You're helping people either way.
Yeah.
Different kind of social work.
Yeah, exactly. So in a way, it's not complete. Not complete turnaround.
It's a big question, isn't it? I don't know. I've never known what I wanted to do. Never known. And
same with me.
I'm 31 and I still don't really know. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I've signed up for a beauty therapy course. I'm going to be starting that next year.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and I like the idea of sort of getting into that. So that's something. But honestly, my life has been quite chaotic. And there's not been much direction up until these last couple of years.
Yeah.
And so I'm sort of starting at a bit of a deficit, if that makes sense.
No, sure. I get that. We're both white trash, so we kind of started at a deficit as well. We're still in a deficit, in case you're wondering.
Yeah. Not only that, but I'm kind of with you, like where I'm like the same. Where like I'm 36 and I don't even know what I want to do with the rest of my life. You know what I mean? Like I'm one of the people where it's like, if I'm not doing something that I really enjoy doing, I'm going to hate it.
Yes, I'm like that.
Yeah.
Well, I can say this to both of you, and without knowing a ton about you, Naomi, Rob he's in the moment, he's fun to be around, and he's always having a good time. So just keep that in mind. Like, you may not, tomorrow, you may not wake up and be like, all right, I want to be a fucking doctor. But you know what? At least we're here right now. You're having fun. Got a fucking beautiful ass cat that we saw there a little bit ago.
Thank you.
Yeah, he looks like a sweetheart. But it's yeah, I know. And it was really important for me during this interview. I kind of wanted to connect on the emotional side of this. If there's another woman listening to this podcast, another lady, and she says, you know what, I think that I got 3 years here where I can just try and get the money for 3 years. I'm gonna do this. Much like someone asked me, like, I'm gonna be a correction officer. I said, don't fucking do that. Run for your life. Don't do that shit. What would you say to a 25-year-old lady that was thinking about getting into the industry?
Oh, I'd say, girl, listen to your heart. If your heart is curious and she's horny, just get out there and do it. Honestly, just do it. Don't be scared of what people say. Don't be scared of what, any of that. Literally, don't let social pressure stop you. If you are a curious person that is sexual and brave and you just want to try something different, just do it. And if you don't like it, stop.
Fuck yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just try it.
No, start that OnlyFans, girls.
And you said the magic H word. So when you first started, if you're horny and you got the freedom, is the horny thing still work for you, or are you just kind of like, I'm fucking over this shit, or is there still a certain amount of a drive there?
Yeah, I must admit, I don't really get horny anymore.
Yeah, God, it fucking sucks. I feel bad for the guy that gets called in from the bullpen, and he's just thinking like, I'm about to give her the greatest 3 to 5 minutes of her life, and then there you are, just like, no.
Yeah, that's kind of the way that it goes, man.
It's an act, you know. It's an act.
But you know what? Yeah. Here's the important thing to keep in mind. Just because I don't know fucking shit dick about your situation, but in terms of feeling emotionally connected and horniness, sometimes there's a lot more that goes into it besides just getting naked and fucking looking at each other. There's an emotional connection that has to happen, and that's gonna happen I know that's gonna happen for I'm not trying to give you hope one day you're gonna find a boyfriend. I know that one day you're gonna find someone, and there's gonna be like you're not gonna have to worry about anything you've done before that moment, and you're not gonna have to worry about like, oh God, I don't think I'm ever gonna be able to get horny again, because the emotions in your souls kind of like fucking take care of that shit for you. Mm-hmm. If that makes any sense.
It does, yeah, it does.
I'm fucking talking out of my ass.
But. Yeah, I'm gonna get away from that, and I'm gonna go with. I got one more question. At least I don't know if you're planning on wrapping it up. Do you know any males that do this?
I've met a couple of guys that claim that they're male escorts, and then they'll ask you for a discounted price, or they'll say.
So in other words, they're cheap.
Yeah.
We work at the same place.
So I've had that, but no, I mean, I think there is an industry,
sure,
for male sex workers, but it's the gay industry. It's not.
That's what I figured.
Women don't typically pay for sex, no, unless it's with a partner, and they're having a threesome, but you don't often get women come in. I've had one woman message me the whole 5 years I've been doing it that wanted to meet me, and the meet didn't happen. So I don't know if she was even a woman. She might have been a man pretending to be a woman.
Interesting.
I didn't even think about asking if have you ever been.
That's me. I'm a man pretending to be a woman. Do you is your job still is it fun to you? Do you still have fun, or?
It can be fun. So I mean, I've started doing tours, which is where I'll visit different cities and just sort of stay for the weekend, and that's shaking it up a bit for me, because it can get sort of same old, especially when you've been doing it for as long as I have, like 5 years. I think I need a good break to find that enjoyment in it again. But then I also, like I say, I think it's partly my own fault for not keeping my own personal sex life alive and my own sort of romantic life alive, because it's just sort of all coming from work. So I think if I was to get out there and date again, maybe I'd find a bit more fun in, you know what I mean?
Sure. What's your family think you do?
So I don't really have much family. I've got my cousin.
Okay.
And she knows what I do, and she's absolutely fine with it.
Yeah. As she should be.
Yeah. I speak to my dad, but he doesn't know. And I would never tell him.
You wants to beat your dad's ass?
Oh dear, it would be bad if he would not be happy, not one bit. And other than that, nobody else knows. Yeah, it's just my cousin that knows, and I think I'm pretty much safe because my family's from a different part of the UK.
Okay.
So I don't advertise in the same city as my family.
Have you ever showed up for a rendezvous and it's someone you know and you're like, fuck? Maybe someone
but it's one of my biggest fears.
Yeah. You show up and it's
one of my biggest fears.
It's some goofy fuck wearing a Brohio shirt. I'm like, I gotta get the fuck out of here.
I've had it where somebody came and he knew like the circles that I used to be in. And he knew people that I knew. But it wasn't. I've never had anyone turn up that I know personally, or intimately. Thankfully, the day might still come, but so far it's not happened.
Okay. Now, if what's a I don't even know how to ask this question. If say you're getting to that point where a session is coming to an end and you see that there's a glimmer of extending the session and making some more money, what are some tactics or tips that you utilize to maybe string it out a little more to make it last a little bit longer, to make that extra money?
I've not done that in ages because, to be honest, by the time the booking's over, I want them out.
Yeah,
I love that.
I'm over it. You know, I'm done. So I used to try and get them to extend, and I used to. So you'd maybe pour yourself a fresh drink, or you'd find something that gets them talking. So you'd
Legos and shit. Guys, talk about Legos.
You'd find something that they're passionate about or whatever, and just let them talk and let them forget about the time. Don't look at your watch. Don't make them think about the time. And then when it comes to it, just be like, "Oh, we've gone over. Do you want Do you want to just make that official and
Bloody fucking hell.
For another...
Me would be food. Like if you fucking just stop and just go make like fry up a couple eggs. I'm like, oh fuck yeah, let's go. Yeah, I'll take another 30 minutes. You gonna keep feeding me? Hell yeah.
That's good.
It's a love language right there. Is food.
I guess when you were when you first started doing this, was there someone that you really kind of leaned on, or someone that you rallied around you to kind of show you the way? And if tomorrow, if I had to show up and be a fucking sex worker, I'd have no idea where to start. So I would imagine it was like was there a mentor or someone that you kind of worked with in the beginning to help you, I guess, light the path?
No, I actually started completely on my own.
Wow.
I didn't tell a soul. I just made a profile and just did it. I joined an agency actually, so there are agencies that have a selection of girls. So I did a couple of independent jobs, realised I didn't know what the hell I was doing, and decided to join an agency so that they would just provide the bookings for you.
Okay.
And so I did that for a couple of months, and then once I'd learned the ropes and learned what I was doing and learned how to sort of navigate the industry, I left and started being independent and stuff. So yeah, but no, I did it on my own for a few years. It's only been this last year that I've met my best friend who does it also.
Gotcha.
And so that's changed it completely, having that support.
Yeah.
I don't know how I did it for so long on my own, to be honest.
Yeah, well, she probably needs you just as much as you need her. So it's good that you guys can lean on one another.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen a micro penis?
Yes.
She said yes, like it's way too common.
Yeah. Like that. Like the tip.
Like hard? No. Like it's that big hard? Do they get hard?
They get slightly rigid, but they sort of like, you can like bop them and they're like...
Bop them.
I'm gonna ask my wife to bop my dick tonight, dude. She's gonna fucking tell me to fuck off.
Do you call it a willy?
No, it's a cock.
It's a cock.
Is that insulting?
A willy is more... That makes me think of like what you tell a kid is.
Okay.
Put your willy up.
But, yeah. Like a wiener. Like that's what we call a wiener.
A wiener.
Is it what you call a wiener?
Wiener. A wiener. It sounds so cool so much cooler with an accent. Everything sounds cooler with an accent.
Do you like the Cincinnati Bengals?
Do I like who?
The Cincinnati Bengals.
It's our American football team.
Yeah, she does. See?
And the micro penis question was good. I feel like that might be.
Are small dicks way more common than big dicks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
The average, I would say, is about 4 to 5 inches. Yeah.
Okay.
Is there a different energy and attitude from the dick sizes? Do the guys with big dicks have big dick energy, or do the guys with little dicks, are they kind of subdued, maybe almost like they're nervous or scared?
I'd say a common attitude with people with big penises is they have this like fake humble thing going on. So you'll see it and you're like, oh my God, it's massive. And they're like, oh, no.
Okay.
And I'm like, you're telling me you've never been told that that's massive? And they're like, no. And it's obviously, bullshit because it's huge.
Yeah.
But they have this fake humble thing going on where they pretend that they don't know that it's big, and that's a common thing.
Dude, I'd start fucking hitting it up against the wall. Kind of like King Kong or something like that. Yeah.
And they won't tell you it's big either. They won't brag. They'll leave you to discover.
Oh, that was kind of
okay.
My next question. Can you, when you meet the client, can you tell before they take the clothes off, like, this dude's got a little pecker? Or
I'm sure there's probably situations
on him.
No, so I do play this game where I try to find the patterns, but the only pattern that I found is that if you're taller and if you've got broad shoulders, you're more likely to have a big cock.
Yeah, it's usually like the the real skinny guys. The tall, skinny guys usually have huge dicks. That's what I've found in my travels.
Those are infinite travels also.
Yeah. I've paved those roads.
That's good. Black men, they do have bigger penises.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they do.
The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to work in prison. That's the biggest dick I've ever seen. Well, the biggest dick I'd ever seen was a mixed fellow. Mm-hmm. That was by far the most monstrous cock that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And second biggest was a white guy, but then the black guys, they were pretty.
They're pretty. Yeah, it's pretty across the board. Like, whereas white dude, it comes in all shapes and sizes.
Yeah. They got to learn to grow up young, man. It's that's how it goes. I guess I'm trying to make sure I covered all my questions I had to ask.
So, are there times when, like, some people will say you'll ask people if they're like, I'm trying to figure out how to word this question. So you got.
She's been pretty cool so far, man. Just throw it at her.
No.
I'm
trying to figure out exactly what I want to say. So, have you ever been surprised by someone who has a smaller dick but can fuck?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so
it's actually about the ass cheeks.
Hold on.
Wait. What?
Explain that, please.
About the glutes.
Okay.
Like, are you talking about? Like power in the thrust?
Yes.
Because I know you'll people will say
I'm fine, dude. I'm fine.
People will say things like, okay. it's it's not about the size, it's the motion in the ocean. So is that really true?
It's the power, yeah.
Okay.
If you can slam, and you can keep up a consistent pace, that's impressive. That you don't need, because if it's too big, that hurts.
Right.
So smaller can be, if you can pound, you're sorted. You're fine. It doesn't matter.
We're gonna make sure of that. If you can pound, dude, I've had to go get my wife out of the yard before. I put her through the wall. I've had to get her get her out, out of the yard and bring her back in the house.
Yeah, random men sometimes.
I'm okay then. Yeah. So now I'm gonna have big dick energy.
Right.
I can pound.
Yeah.
Pounder. That's good advice.
Down.
Would you be able to put a number on the amount of clients you've had over the years?
Ooh.
And if you don't,
this might be the question she backs out.
If you don't want to answer that question, that's fine. But it kind of, if I had fucking 8 hole-in-ones, I'd be like, fuck yeah, I got 8 hole-in-ones.
I honestly don't know. I mean, I stopped counting because it just seemed like a pointless endeavor. But I would estimate around 600.
Good for you.
I know people that aren't in the industry that are higher than that. So I mean, that's nothing. Yeah. Okay.
But do you know what? It is such a myth that the female vagina gets loose.
Oh no, yeah, that's for sure.
Like, it's like a fucking vice. Okay,
it's got muscle memory. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a vice. I've watched a fucking human head come out of the one that I utilize.
Yeah.
And still to this day, every time I go in, and I'm like, oh god, it's so fucking tight.
All someone has to know is that a full ass baby head can come out of that thing, and it can still feel good as new, and give it a couple weeks. That's good.
That's good to remember. Now, what's your and this is another question you don't have to this is like a medical thing, but what's your birth control of choice?
Oh, so I used to have the worst periods. I have a history. I have a family history of endometriosis.
Oh shit.
So my periods used to be so bad that I would faint and throw up and shit myself, basically.
Jesus Christ.
You would faint?
Yeah, from the pain, like a sort of pain that you can't explain, like just to the point where your whole central nervous system goes, nope.
Yeah,
that's too much.
Like a shock type thing.
So I decided to go on the pill for that to not have periods anymore. So I'm on a pill that stops my periods. And then obviously you use condoms as well.
Sure.
What have you ever had guys that wanted you on your period?
No, actually.
Interesting.
Huh.
No, I've not had that.
No fucking no blood soldiers.
I've had that in my personal life, but not in work.
What?
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a strange turn of events there.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I think the most common like fetish is feet, and then I'd say tights, like nylon tights.
Yeah.
And then piss. Yeah.
And then piss. The piss is that high up there. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've had people gulp down my piss before.
Oh, God.
Glug, glug, glug.
Like they'll drink it?
Like from sauce to, like, you know what I
Oh,
mean? Like,
my gosh.
fully. Yeah.
Bad motherfuckers right there.
Man.
What do you
that
do?
makes me gag, though. I think that's horrible.
Yes, that's pretty bad. What do you do with your cat? Do you take your cat to daycare or something when you're working, or how does that work?
Oh, he's used to it by now. He's a confident kitty. He's not affected by the presence of unknown men in the house. He's all right. I'll tell you what he did last week. He jumped on the bed, fell asleep. I didn't realise he was there until we changed positions, basically. And he was asleep at the bottom of the bed. I was like, "You little freak!"
Have you ever had any clients? Have you ever had any clients that visit with the cat at all?
Oh no!
Like, hey, kitty, want to pet your fucking cat and shit. Oh man, these are fucking stupid questions you're never going to be asked ever again. I love it.
To be honest, I thought you were going to go raw, so I wasn't sure what to expect.
Yeah, I hope, and it's my genuine hope that you never felt like we put you in a bad situation during this entire interview. So
no, definitely not. No.
Yeah, all right. Well, that makes my heart a little bit happy.
Definitely not.
Do you have any more questions that you can? The thing is,
it's gonna be one of those things where, as I'm on my way home, I'm like, fuck.
You might have to do a round 2.
Yeah.
We might have to be a return client.
No, happily.
That's awesome. Just off the top of my head here, let me think if I can think of anything else. I think I asked you about kind of if there was have you ever, your traveling stuff, have you ever thought about going overseas at all, or mostly you just, hey, staying in the UK?
I used to aim to be like an international escort, like somebody that would get flown out.
That sounds so fancy.
It does.
I used to want that. But now I'm sort of over it. I like to be at home really with my cat.
Yeah,
I get that.
And it's a lot of time to spend with somebody that you don't know as well. It's awkward.
Yeah, that was when I asked about the longer deals. I didn't know if there was ever an instance where someone paid you to go out to dinner with them and stuff like that, and then you finish the night off wherever. If they essentially pay you to go on a date with them, and then the nightcap.
Yeah, that's something I offer. Yeah, I love dinner dates. I think they're the best.
We love food
so
here.
You could do like a 2-hour dinner date and then go back and do a 2-hour booking sort of thing. Those are my favourite evenings, really. So I've had a few of them, but to be honest, they're few and far between. As a overnight, it's mostly just it's mostly half an hours and hours, to be honest.
Sure. So it sounds like Naomi likes to be treated like a lady. Wined and dined, and that's why
69. Wine, dined, and 69.
Do you what's your biggest, aside from a fucking big dick, I guess? Well, actually, you said the fucking big ones hurt. What's like when you meet a client or you meet a guy? What's the thing you're just like, this motherfucker's awesome? Like, what is there anything that stands as eyes? Is it you said something about glutes? Is it a smile or their personality? Is there anything that you're kind of like, oh my god, yeah, that's it?
It's the chemistry. So when you can't put that into words. Okay. It's when I feel that spark, and that's quite rare for me. And it's when it's like I'm interested in this person and they've captivated my attention. That's the only way I can think to put it, because I'm not it doesn't really matter what they look like. It doesn't really matter as long as they're not like absolutely vile. But that is it. I've had that maybe once or twice where they're just pure, just no.
Puffy nipples.
But, yeah, no, just vile in every way. Like I wouldn't even want to. Oh dear.
You like,
but no, it's definitely just a vibe. It's when there's chemistry and there's that spark. I love that.
You particularly enjoy when the men take when they take good care of their crotches, like the landscaping down there.
So I don't necessarily. Ideally, I mean, it's becoming more and more common that men are totally shaved down there now. Balls totally shaved, everything shaved. And I do prefer that, yeah, because you don't really want long pubes in your mouth. And I don't mind licking balls if there's no pubes on them. But I think
me neither.
For me, the most important thing, and this is my chance to broadcast this.
Awesome.
To your male listeners.
I love this.
Please wash your asshole.
I knew that was coming.
I saw that motherfucker in half in the shower every day. Yeah, dude.
It's an epidemic of unwashed cracks. It's just, I don't understand it. Get in there.
If you take a shower and you don't wash your asshole, that's like doing the dishes with a turd.
Right.
like you might be cleaning the dishes a little bit.
Yeah, man.
But it's still a fucking turd back there, you know.
You gotta wash your ass. I mean, it ain't gay if you wash your asshole. You just don't stick your finger in there. I mean, even
no, that's my secret.
I've had clients literally leave like poo stains on my bed.
Oh God, that's awful.
Yeah. From being that unwashed that it's just gathered and collected.
That's so nasty.
How do you have the money to pay for a service like that, but not have enough self-awareness that you got fucking racing stripes in your underwear?
Yeah, man.
Oh, it's humiliating. I don't understand it.
You're fucking brave.
You know how much soap I have to go through as hairy as ass I have? At least I know I gotta fucking get in there.
So my secret is I take the tip of my finger and I put one squirt on it, and I take that squirt, I shove it up inside my anus.
Okay.
And then
do you actually?
No. That's the thing about me. You never know if I'm telling the truth or not. Yeah, it's like one of them little fucking air fresheners. All day long, you get a little drip, and you're.
I can say I've never done that, but
it's fine, dude. It works, man. I know it works for me. You know it works for you. So
I'll get a big blob of soap in my hand and just fucking go to town. Go to town on my ass crack.
I know. I know exactly.
Good. It's what I want to hear.
Yeah.
Now the fucking question everybody wants to know. Have you ever had any strange encounters? Have you ever had seen a fucking ghost or been in a haunted house or
you have a haunted dildo?
Seen a UFO or just anything that aligns with what we normally talk about on this show? Maybe not so much this interview.
We had sex with a skinwalker.
Sex with a skinwalker. I had a skinwalker client once. His name was Paul. No, so I do. I semi-believe in ghosts, but I had one experience that I'll tell you about. So I was in bed. I was asleep. I had college, and I was hungover. I didn't want to go to college, and it was 7:00 in the morning. My alarm went off. And you know when the alarm goes off and you genuinely fall back asleep?
Oh, I do that all the fucking time.
Oh, yeah.
And then you know that there's the times when the alarm goes off and you pretend to fall back asleep to yourself to go, no, I don't want to get up. I don't want to get up.
Yep.
So I was doing that. And basically I felt ice cold, bony fingers grab my ankle. So like there.
Yep.
Like the back of my ankle and like squeezed it twice. And I sort of freaked out and sat up and was like, what the fuck? What was that? I must have been dreaming. And sort of lay back down to try to go back to sleep. And as soon as my head touched the pillow, it happened again.
Oh, no.
Yeah, as clear as day. And to this day, I think it was something trying to get me to get up to go to college. Like, I don't know. It was, I don't know.
It's like a fucking dead relative. Wake your ass up and get to school.
Get up, bitch.
Oh, man.
So that was really, and to this day, I cannot explain it because I know that I was not asleep. And And I know, and I wish that I was, because it was cold and bony. That's so creepy.
Oh my God. Man, I don't like it.
Did you burn that house down, or is it you still living there?
No, that was years ago. So that I lived in the loft. It was like an attic room to make it even creepier.
Oh, so you are a muggle. You're a wizard. Harry lived under the steps.
Lived under the stairs. Yeah.
Well, yeah,
maybe I am.
That's pretty wild. I'm not down for the. What if you went to you had a client and you showed up and he's like, I hope you don't mind if I wear these bony hands. I've got this glove I want to wear.
I want to wait until you walk by and just grab your Achilles tendon.
Do you do a lot of role playing? Is that a thing or?
No, I'm quite shy. Like I feel a bit silly doing role play.
You can't do role playing. I mean, I don't know how to fucking role. I could probably be really good at it, but I've never really done it.
I've done it. I have done it. I've done it a few times. I've done it. The most complex role play I've done, I think, probably was, it was when I worked for that agency when I first started, and it was this client in the middle of like nowhere in this big mansion, and it was really creepy. And basically, I got there, and he wanted me to. The role play was that he was a head teacher, and I was a teacher that worked at the school that he was the head teacher at. And I'd sold some weed to the students. Really specific, and and I was getting told off for it. I was getting like reprimanded. And I had to try and save my job and all this.
So fucking bad.
And basically, he took me to his library room, which was like a big, grand,
yeah, wow. You've seen some shit.
Yeah, from like floor to ceiling books. And there was a big oak desk, and he just basically bent me over it and spanked me for an hour.
Damn.
That fucking hurts, dude. I don't want to be fucking spanked for an hour.
That was when I first started, so I was full of
piss and vinegar. Yeah. Will you bend me over and fucking spank me after this is done?
I don't know if I can do that for an hour, but yeah,
my arms will get tired.
I'll do my best.
I got a lot of ass to paddle. Well, Naomi, thank you so much for doing this. This is such a fun interview, and you were incredible. And I hope people learn something. Is there kind of like, I could speak for you in this instance and say, well, I will say this. Fucking do your thing, girl. You know what? Don't be ashamed. Be proud. You're bringing happiness to people that otherwise would be sad and alone and have nothing. You're bringing happiness to people. You're providing a service that people need. You know what? Much like a fucking teacher or a police officer, people need this. So be proud of what you do. Be proud of your skin. You're wonderful.
Thank you.
Everyone's gonna love you. We'll probably even have some people that'll travel over there to come find you. So we have some get some really weird fuckers.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
of course.
If you ever there will be around too. Maybe we'll do a Patreon one and make it extra XXX, like extra dirty. Really bad stuff. You can just you can take a journal over like 2 weeks, and then you just bring the journal back and say, this is what I've been doing the past 2 weeks. This is what I was thinking. whenever you're in the moment, what are you just like thinking about getting it over with, or you think about reruns of whatever fucking shows come on over
Doctor
there?
Doctor Who. Sometimes I'm thinking about my money and how much I've got after that booking. Sometimes I'm stacking up.
Spinning that shit. Yeah.
Sometimes I'm doing maths. Other times I'm going, oh, this is all right.
Yeah. Now, this is another good question. I know you said that the business is kind of touch and go. COVID changed a lot of things. Mm-hmm. But if you go to sleep and you're like, I'm fucking. And don't be ashamed, because me and Rob we go to bed broke all the time. If you go to bed broke, are you like, I don't know if I'm going to have money tomorrow, or is there like, I know I'm going to get money tomorrow?
It's that. Like, yeah.
I know that I can fucking fix this tomorrow.
If it's not tomorrow, basically, the saying that I have in my head is, you just need one good day, to completely change your financial situation.
Yeah.
And a good day is just around the corner, So
sure.
Even if it, let me put it this way. So like an average week is about $1,500.
Okay.
Income. A hard week is about $2,000. An easy week is $1,000. Okay. So you always have the option to pretty much make. It's been a bit quieter recently, so that's something that seems to be Leeds based, because when I toured a different city, it was way busier.
Okay.
So it seems to be sort of local area based, but yeah, that's sort of the average. If you want to bust your ass and make $2,000, you can do it.
Yeah.
But it's just whether you can handle it and whether you've got the energy and the,
Yeah, the elasticity in your butthole and stuff.
Yeah, basically.
Mine's like an old pair of underwear. It's really stretchy and stuff. Well, that's cool. I don't know. I think I can do it though, man. I think I got what it takes to do it.
I think so.
Yeah. My wife's gonna she's not gonna go for it, so I'm probably not gonna do it. But I think there would be a market for me with women in wheelchairs and shit,
Sure.
Just like
retirement home
people can't run from me and shit. Well, no, Naomi, thank you so much, and I can't wait to put this out and let everybody listen to it. I would like to keep you on for a few more seconds after we stop recording, if that's okay.
Yeah.
But before we go, do you have any questions you want to ask the bros that you would like the world to hear? If not, that's perfectly okay. You said you've been listening for a couple years. I hope.
Yeah, I just appreciate all the weirdos. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's why we love everybody that listens to this show. Everyone's different.
I do.
Yeah,
and everyone's awesome. I would really like for you to turn us on during. I know you have like a YouTube mix you turn on when you have your clients over, but I think it'd be really nice just as a thank you to us for all the happiness we've brought you over the past. Just turn on one of our episodes during one of your sessions, and when he says, "What the fuck are you doing?" and you say, "Oh, these guys are funny. Let's listen to this for your half an hour session."
Absolutely, and you get to pick the episode. And you get to pick part.
We're gonna make
in the episode as well.
It's gonna be Bigfoot erotica. I already have it picked out. All right.
Could work well. You just never know.
Yeah, some people are into slimy pink hairy dicks.
Yeah.
For real.
There's a market for it.
All right. Well, thanks again, Naomi, and we'll catch you next time. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.